This was her last TikTok. She didn't know that 24 hours after filming this, she would be killed in this same park. 16-year-old Brianna Ghey was a trans TikToker who was walking through the park in the middle of the day. She was so excited to take her exams this year, even though her friends say that her school and the police did nothing to help the consistent bullying she got for being trans. 5 days before she died, she posted a video in her bedroom with the caption, "Got excluded from school." It wasn't just in school. I reviewed her social media, and on all of them, she was consistently harassed for being trans. Over the weekend, a 15-year-old boy and a 15-year-old girl, both a year younger than 16-year-old Brianna, went up to her in that park in the middle of the day and stabbed her to death. And the police have the audacity to say that there's no evidence that this was a hate crime. If you have a second, please sign the petition in my bio.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about some trans activists that are protesting in London. Okay, they staged a mass die-in after the murder of trans TikToker Brianna Ghey. Now, I want to talk about this because these activists are blaming J.K. Rowling for the death of this individual, which is clearly and obviously a horrible event. Rest in peace to this person. But I think, again, what's going on here is a little bit premature in regards to how some of these activists are responding to this. And I just find it fascinating how, every single time, there's a tragic incident, when it comes to some type of minority or, some type of group that, claims to be, victimized or whatever, the first thing they want to do is say that it's hate, okay, that it happened because of hate. It could not have happened because of anything else, okay? It could have been any other motivation or possible motivation. It was hate, okay? They did the same thing with the Colorado mass shooting. I think it was Club Q, nightclub shooting. And they kept saying it was hate until the shooter claimed that he was non-binary, right? And once the shooter claimed that he was non-binary, all of a sudden the story went away, right? When's the last time you guys heard an update on that story? Haven't heard anything about it. Again, as soon as he said, "I'm non-binary," the media was like, man, let's go to something else, right? Let's start talking about something else. It's just amazing how that works. So I want to talk about this because, again, this is a sad and tragic story. But I think that some of the reactions here from people are just kind of over the top. So let's read here. Trans activists staged a die-in outside the Department of Education in London Wednesday following the murder of 16-year-old trans-identified male in a park in Cheshire on February 11th. Two 15-year-olds have been charged with murder after Brianna Ghey was found with fatal stab wounds in Cheshire Park on Saturday afternoon, according to The Guardian. Cheshire police said at the time that there was no evidence the murder was motivated by hate, but that hasn't stopped trans activists from declaring it to be the result of transphobia. Yeah, so, I mean, again, anytime something like this happens, the first thing they're going to jump to is transphobia, right? Just like with the Colorado shooting, the first thing they jumped to was, homophobia, transphobia, whatever, without the evidence coming out. Now, it was allegedly two 15-year-olds, which is sad, okay, extremely sad. You have kids, okay, that went and stabbed somebody for a reason we don't know. I think that's just sad in general, right? That kids so young would do something like that to another person. So let's read a little bit more here because, again, they're now protesting about this. A 15-year-old girl from Warrington and a 15-year-old boy from Lee have today, Wednesday, 15th of February 2023, been charged with murder following the death of 16-year-old Brianna Ghey, said Cheshire police in a press statement. In a previous statement, Cheshire police had assured the public that all lines of inquiry were being explored, quote, including whether this was a hate crime, and asked that the public please, quote, continue to avoid speculation online and be wary of sharing misinformation related to this cause. Well, I mean, they're going to speculate and say that, it's hate and transphobia because what happens is that stops any type of criticism, right? So when you take a death like this, right, a horrible, tragic death, And you say that, well, it happened because of transphobia without knowing the facts. What happens is that you use that as a way to stop any type of criticism of your movement, right? So any of the extremist things that comes out of movement, people can say, oh, this is harmful to trans people. Look what happened to this person right here, right? They was stabbed to death. And because we say it was a result of transphobia, that means that you can't criticize us, right? You can't say anything about us because that motivates people to go out and kill trans folks, when that's just simply not true. You don't know the motivations, right? We don't know anything about this or why it happened. We don't know if they knew this person, whether they was connected somehow. You know, they may have gotten into some type of argument, some type of altercation. We have no clue how or why this happened. But again, that's not stopping people from claiming that it's hate, that it's some type of hate crime. Ghey's family released a tribute calling their child a much-loved daughter, granddaughter, and baby sister, reports The Guardian. Quote, she was a larger-than-life character who would leave a lasting impression on all that met her. Brianna was beautiful, witty, and hilarious. Brianna was strong, fearless, and one of a kind. The loss of her young life has left a massive hole in our family, and we know that the teachers and her friends who were involved in her life will feel the same, said the family. Ghey was something of a TikTok celebrity with a following of around 31,000. Ghey's account has since been deactivated. Trans activists organized vigils across the UK with large crowds of mourners gathering, holding pride flags, signs, and candles to pay tribute to the teenager. At the vigil outside the Department of Education, the crowd chanted, "Protect trans youth," and "When trans rights are under attack, what do you do? Stand up, fight back." At the end of the vigil came the die-in, where everyone lay down on the ground chanting, "How many of our corpses does it take for you to care?" Report Sky News. James Lindsay took to Twitter to compare the activists using this tragic death of a teenager with the Black Lives Matter response to the death of George Floyd. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what happens. You know, again, and that's the shame here, right? Again, it's a shame because, again, you know, you're using somebody to promote an agenda, not because you actually care about them or you care about their life. You care about the fact that their life was lost and what you can use, you know, from the fact that life was lost to progress your agenda. Operation Trans Floyd is in progress, Lindsay wrote in a following tweet. He added, quote, "I won't show deferential or weaponized empathetic respect to a tragedy turned into a prop for a neo-communist mass line of action, and don't think you should either. You should hold the activists using this story this way in contempt." Yeah, it's tragic. I hate that it happened. I think it's terrible. But I think it's even more terrible, or it makes it worse, when you start to politicize this, when you start to use it to push an agenda rather than to wait and see what the facts are. Quote, "I don't feel bad about being insensitive to a neo-communist mass line. You shouldn't either," Lindsay wrote. According to Sky News, the two 15-year-olds appeared in Liverpool Crown Court via video link Wednesday, but spoke only to confirm their names. A provisional trial date was set for July 10th, with the trial expected to last approximately 3 weeks. Some activists have blamed the popular Harry Potter book series author J.K. Rowling for Ghey's death. Quote, "Brianna Ghey's death is on your hand," at J.K. Rowling. "This is what you wanted. This is what your hate has sown. I hope that you're proud of yourself. I pray that you wake up in a cold sweat with her names on your lips every night for the rest of your hateful life." Again, that's just a shame, man. It really is. I don't get that. I don't understand blaming J.K. Rowling for any type of violence that happens towards a transgender individual, right? You blame some random celebrity because they don't agree with your opinions. Again, it's shameful. It's shameful. It's like you're more concerned about the person and what you can use in regards to their death than you are about just waiting and seeing what the facts are. Again, if this has nothing to do with transphobia, again, you're going to look silly, right? But the activists don't care, because at the end of the day, the mission has been accomplished, right? To smear people unfairly as causing the deaths of transgender individuals. If you're playing Hogwarts Legacy, this is what you're funding. You're funding J.K. Rowling to incite hatred against trans women, resulting in the vicious murder of a 16-year-old girl. You sold out this child for your effing game. So yeah, they don't want you to play a video game now, right? You can't play a video game because it's transphobic. According to the trans community, J.K. Rowling is directly responsible for the death of Brianna Ghey. Do you agree? Yeah, so this is what they're saying. This is ridiculous. It's sad. It's pathetic that this is what they're doing. They're blaming J.K. Rowling for what happened to this person. Like, come on, man. Like this person says, I told you British media, the government, J.K. Rowling, Ricky Gervais, and the whole hideous, stinking gender critical movement have blood in their hands, a targeted attack. You have created a hysterical climate where it's okay to target trans people. God bless Brianna. Again, I don't think that that's true. Just because people are critical of some of the extremism that comes out of that movement, that doesn't mean they're responsible for random acts of violence like this, right? But again, they say that because they want to silence any type of criticism, any type of speech that they disagree with in regards to their movement. And this is what they do. It's just a shame that they use dead bodies to do it, to push a political agenda. It's absolutely disgusting. It really is. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.